Hi, I am here today with Mr. Pete Hugendonk, the manager of Cain Funeral Home. Pete, thank you for having me here today.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now tell us a little bit about yourself and how you chose this as a career.
I chose this as a career while I was a student at East Carolina University in Greenville, North Carolina. The local funeral director there had helped me get a job a summer earlier, and when my dad transferred with DuPont to another city and I remained in Greenville, he gave me the opportunity to stay in his building and answer the phone in the evening. And as a struggling college student, an opportunity to stay somewhere for free and do a little bit of work was very appealing to me. And from there, I worked summer times and off days and became interested in the career. Following my stint in the military and able to get licensed in North Carolina, I remained as a licensed funeral director, a funeral service licensee for 25 years prior to coming to South Carolina.
Okay, now how long have you been here in South Carolina?
I've been here as manager of Cain Funeral Home and as one of the stockholders since October of 2001.
Okay. Well, tell us a little bit of history of Cain Funeral Home.
Cain Funeral Home was formed in October of 1976 by a group of local business leaders who felt that a funeral home was needed in this side of growing Florence. Since that time, the funeral home has become one of the more progressive ones here in the area, in that in 2001 we have added a crematory to serve the needs of those folks who prefer cremation in the PD and Florence region. Our staff consists of myself and an associate who are both licensed funeral directors, licensed crematory operators, and licensed to assist folks with making pre-planning should they desire to pay for those services in advance.
And that licensing is very important.
It is. It lets us meet all the necessary requirements in South Carolina and should assure the folks that our firm is a reputable one.
Okay. Well, now tell me, what does the average funeral cost these days, Pete?
Well, an average funeral cost is around $7,300. Average cremation costs run around $2,800. Okay. Newspaper notices, death certificates, and miscellaneous items can add to that figure just a little bit.
So those are not included?
Those are items that are separate from that figure. The average cost basically reflects the cost of our services and the cost of merchandise that is selected.
Okay. Now I know we've heard a lot about pre-planning. I mean, tell us why that really is so important.
Those folks that pre-plan can do it in several ways. One, they can simply give the funeral home some information that they would like as far as their plans are concerned. But secondly, they can also prepay for those plans. And by prepaying for those plans, they can lock in the price at today's rate. So that has an advantage to some folks. Knowing that the costs are ever going to increase, they can lock in at today's prices,
so that
which
really
could be a money-saving thing for them in years to come.
Well, that was my next question. So that really could help save on costs.
It could help in saving on costs in years to come, because we say that, you know, if they pay us, then they're locking in at today's rates instead of paying for things years down the road.
Right. Well, I know that you're a man of strong faith. Now, tell us how you feel God's presence when you're comforting people that are dealing with the shock and grief.
Well, this is a career field in which we deal with folks whose emotions are on the edge, who have suffered a great loss and really don't want to be here. Mm-hmm. And so we need to be very aware of their feelings, their emotions, and try our best to comfort them by just our presence, by just our word, but just listening to what they want to tell us. Mm-hmm. And just keeping an open mind and an open ear and listening primarily is a great thing that we can do for them.
Mm-hmm. Well, as it says in the Bible, in Ecclesiastes 3, verses 1 and 2, death is a part of life. Please take Pete's advice and strongly consider pre-planning with Cain Funeral Home. They have been serving families with pride and dignity since 1976. Thank you, Pete.
Thank you very much for being here.